increasing devastation that we see on the outside, it it becomes harder and harder. But anyway, okay. So I see that we are now being live streamed. So again, if you do not want your video, your face to be seen on video, please do turn it off now. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sunday Seconds. I actually missed Thursday, but I'm going to say something. I was able to watch it last night, and we have an amazing team. We have an amazing team here at Sorting Soup. Like all Sabrina, pinch hitted. Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. Dr. Melissa, you did an amazing job at the Bardo breathing. Everybody stood up. Rebecca is Rebecca. And Laura, thank you so much. Like everybody, Dr. Chris, you always stand up when we need you, and I appreciate you so very much. Okay, that being said, we're off to the races. Oh, Laura needs to be made a co-host. Mr. Bell, please. Thank you. Other than that, today we're going to be reheating Chapter 10, The Economic Illusion, Deregulation and Inequality. And thank goodness that Laura's being made a co-host, because she's going to drop the PDF in the chat for you if you don't have it. And here's the thing. The subtitle here is Trickle Down 2.0, Same Story, More Damage. And I think we all know this. I think we all know that this all started back with Reagan. Like this all, like the economic part, right? I mean, the plan was from before that, and and all of this, but those trickle down economics, y'all, they just kept on trickling down now, didn't they? I don't, anyway, all right.
Yes, it
I'm not
did.
I'm not an economist, but I did grow up in the 80s, and 90s, and I lived several different economic lives because my mother was married to 4 different men. So I have lived an upper middle class life. I have lived a middle class life and a lower middle class. And I are not lower middle class. I would say we were poor. And I can tell you, I preferred the upper middle class. I didn't prefer the people, but I preferred the shopping, the toys, the having what I wanted when I needed it or when I wanted it. And I was a spoiled brat. I'm sure you couldn't have told that about me at all. Um, but I then learned after my mom got divorced what real poverty was like because she was a single mom for a while. And so like learning what it's like to skip meals because we couldn't, you know, we couldn't make it that week for every single meal, or going to my friend's house to eat dinner. I invite myself, right? Hey guys, you love me so much. Can I come over for dinner? Um, that was a humbling experience, and I'm so grateful that it happened when it happened during my teen years, so that it shaped and formed the person that I went on to become. Because had I been that spoiled brat in my teen years, I think I'd be a different person now. Anyway, I say all of that, laying the foundation that uh, the policies proposed, and I'm going to read this right here. The policies proposed include a sweeping reduction in corporate taxes, the elimination of capital gains taxes for certain investment classes, and the dismantling of regulatory frameworks that ensure consumer protection, labor safety, and environmental sustainability. These are not marginal adjustments. They are structural shifts engineered to redirect public wealth upward in the name of growth, Project 2025 enshrines a form of economic governance in which risk is socialized and reward is privatized. They want the money to flow up. None of it stays down. None of it's in the middle. None of it is in the 98. And I say 98, the upper 1 point something percent. They don't, right? So, a question for all of you. What is the best way to put pressure in our local environments to deal with these type of situations? Because right now, what we are doing in my area is we're building up our mutual aid networks. We are donating in all of our events. We're having donations for food pantries and the VA and all of the local areas. We always have the main ones, right? But what more can we do in our communities to fight back against economic ruin? Didn't think this was going to be a thinker this morning, did ya? Well, they have promised us a lot of jobs, but
they're not coming.
They're not coming. They have said that everyone is hiring, but nobody's hiring. They may be interviewing, but they're not hiring. And more people are instead playing the stock market or trying, trying crazy, crazy plans because they're desperate. So I'll read a little more. But history has tested this model. The Reagan-era tax cuts, the Bush-era deregulation, the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. Each iteration of trickle-down economics produced the same outcomes: ballooning deficit, rising inequality, underinvestment in infrastructure and social services, and a hollowing of the middle class. The gains went overwhelmingly to the top 10%, and within that, disproportionately to the top 1%. Meanwhile, wages stagnated, benefits eroded, and economic mobility declined. Robin.
Oh,
good morning.
Good morning. I came in late, so I missed most part of it, but I came at the end where the jobs, okay? So I know you're reading, maybe you want to complete that, but would like to make some comments when it comes to the jobs.
Go ahead. Talk about jobs right now.
The young people are hurting. We're old, we're retired people, okay? And will be okay. I don't know. We're gonna be okay, but our children, and doesn't matter how educated they are. My daughter, youngest one, you're gonna meet. You guys will meet her, okay? She took a job when October 1st she was laid off, right? When the cuts were, and then she took this job. Was in Pullman, Washington, Idaho. I forgot the town. It's a border. The two universities are there. Okay, but anyway, my heart goes to my daughter. I mean, she'll be. She just she got the job. She took it out. She took off. I mean, it was not a permanent job. Okay, so the assignment was like 4 months. So look, it's only February, right? and that job is no more. Okay, so she has to come back now again. So her house that she had over here in Lombard, where she had to rent it because she had to pay bill. Okay, she has to pay the mortgage, and so, right. So now she has two cats, and she's coming to my house. Okay, this is her house. She's born. Okay, it's okay. But the thing, I'm just telling you the struggle that kids have nowadays. Okay,
She lost
so
funding. You're
it's just
saying, yeah, she lost her
it,
job because she lost her funding. Yeah, okay.
it's hurting. It's just hurting. I mean, she lost October 1st. She was on that job for 5 months, and now about 2, 3 months she worked. But anyway, I'm just telling you, the first, like, I'm a parent, right? I'm a parent, right? So I
Yeah.
want her to have a stable job where she earns some money and pay her bills and, supports herself. So I don't know, Cecilia. I mean, I do that's my worry. But then on the other hand, tell myself, okay, she has, doc, she's a doctor, right? She'll find something, but she has to find something that she likes because you know how much it's just, she told me,
I know,
Mom,
Robin. I know,
yeah,
honey.
yeah, I mean, I said, Jessica, what happened? I mean, there's so many logistics involved. So anyway, we'll get into that. So, okay, I caught you at the end. You guys
That's
talking
okay.
about
We were just talking, yeah,
jobs.
and that's what we're talking about. We're talking about how they are cutting off so many jobs, and they have increased the unemployment rate beyond our ability to compensate. They're doing, I mean, all of this is on purpose, y'all. It's all by design. And my fear here, and correct me if I'm wrong, and please, because again, I'm not an economist, but my fear here is our only recompense is a strike, like or specific strikes, like in towns, like we have strike power. Dr. Melissa.
I think probably a strike is going to be necessary in the long run. I think it's not easy in our country to create a strike, but I think even on the political side, we need a strike will be coming probably. In terms of what we can do, your question earlier was hard to answer because it's a systemic issue. So it's not enough just to help people or put money into food banks. I mean, that is necessary because um, that's a Band-Aid.
Yes.
That's a stopgap measure. But I think what we probably need to do is to work with surrounding communities, the ones that are not as affluent, or if we're an affluent, or if we're not an affluent community, work with one that is, like create those coalitions so that we can have some economic freedom and then create probably more cooperatives, more cooperative uh, food stores and things like that, where there's more wealth shared, and it puts forward that model that's different from the model that we're getting confronted with.
I miss the days of good co-ops. Like we used to have like five of them, five different types of co-ops in Oklahoma back in Brad Henry governorship days, back when it was a little more bluish purple-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my son is in Rochester. They have right down the street from them. He ended up he's a general manager now of a food co-op. So
Yeah.
they have them. They have them in New York, in Park Slope in New York. They have them. They have a cooperative bookstore, I think, or sort of
Yes.
independent bookstore. But you want to support your independent bookstore, support your independent businesses. That's the other thing to do. It's like make sure, if you don't, I try to go to Amazon. I try to do bookshop. I try to also, if I'm online, try to go to bookstores. If we're in a community where there's a bookstore, do the independent bookstore if you can. Those are the things, the independent stores, not the
Definitely.
chains. And it's hard to do because people know the chains that become part of your culture. Same thing with Starbucks. I mean, Starbucks used to be independent coffee shop, and now it's,
No.
you know,
No.
I
Don't be a
know,
scab.
I know.
Scabs are gross. They have their own merch. The Starbucks people who are protesting, you can support them by buying merch. Never cross a picket line. Scabs are gross.
Exactly. Well, there's the other, and support unions. That's the other
And
thing, right?
that is, yes. Unions have gotten so weakened since the Reagan era, right? In the last 40 years. I hate that it's been my lifetime. Why? Like they've just taken my lifetime and they've just weakened all of these okay, they say that they are building up the worker class, but what they're doing is, and why can't we message that? Why can't Democrats message that better?
Right.
I'm going all over the place, guys. I'm sorry.
No, you're right, but that is what should be messaged because when they talk about workers, they talk about inferior workers, people who are drones, who don't have any rights. And that's what they want to create. They want to create less education, so you don't have an educated populace. And then you have people who will just work for pennies and just be grateful and go to the company store, right?
Exactly. I was trying to find that right here. At the same time, the infrastructure of economic data is manipulated to serve the illusion of success, which I think we're seeing right now. I think that they are manipulating the stock market a lot. Y'all, pay attention to your 401ks.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, the Project 2025 emphasizes GDP growth, stock market indices, and unemployment figures as markets of progress. But these metrics fail to capture inequality, precarity, and quality of life. A rising GDP says nothing about how gains are distributed. Low unemployment does not account for stagnant wages, part-time underemployment, or the erosion of collective bargaining. The illusion is maintained by focusing on averages when the story is in the extremes. And they neglect to admit that the working poor, the people who are working their butts off and still cannot afford to live in this economy because the national minimum wage is $7.50. Sorry. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, it's bad. And raise the minimum wage. That's the other thing we can do, but that's state to state, right?
Yeah, and it does go state to state, true. But if they would just raise that minimum wage, like the national one, and I know I go back and forth between what should be nationalized and what should be states' rights, but
Exactly.
seriously, something as easy as a minimum wage. Sorry, go ahead, Robin.
Oh, you don't have to unmute.
Oh.
Okay. Two things. GDP. It's, you know what, that doesn't tell you much. My husband was, he's really into finances and number, all that. So he said in India, the India now is the fourth country in a GDP. But that is really misleading because all the wealth is in the top
Right.
1%, maybe less than 1%. And it's not being distributed on the bottom. They are so poor on the bottom. Millions and millions of people are working their butts off. So GDP is for these oligarchs. And if you know India, okay, the three main oligarchs, Adani, Ambani, Shah, they're all from
Okay.
Gujarat. Okay, so
What was the second one? You had a second point.
Adani, what?
No.
Okay,
You had a second
so
point. GDP
anyway,
was your first.
GDP, so good. And the market, it might gonna bust, okay? Just watch it, okay? Because it is inflated way too much. So, but then everything gonna crash. The whole world will crash because everybody's interconnected, okay?
I
So get
know.
rid of oligarchs. Get rid of all over the world. Get rid of
I'm seeing a
oligarchs.
lot of actual, there are a lot of posts right now about guys that are losing all of their money on crypto, like thousands and thousands of dollars right now because the market is dipping. And there are people who can ride that wave, like they can ride it and because it's going to go back up, I'm
Oh,
sure at some point. But there are a lot of people who can't. There are a lot of people who lose 250, $400,000 and
Cecilia, in
that's their life savings.
Cecilia, in
Hmm?
crypto money is a scam.
Yes, I know, honey.
Okay, what is it based on? What do they have behind? That's all
There's
scam.
nothing. Yeah,
That's
it's a scam.
all scam. Okay,
I know.
okay. The second thing I'm going to talk about
Nope.
strike. Okay, you said we should, yeah, you said strike, we should have, yes, I believe strike has a power. When people in masses come out, they can, they can bring these oligarchs, these rogue governments down, okay? So here, we don't know, and I know Bill said that we are short of one in the, I'm sorry, house. So if we can get a couple of more in house, we can take, that's in March. I think we can take the house in the March, okay? So strike, there is a guy called Senator Galileo. Oh, what's his name? He is calling, but he is I forgot where is he from. He's watching our elections very closely.
Okay.
So in November he said that it's gonna be. So he said we should be prepared to have national strike.
Yes.
Everybody, nobody should work. Just come out of the streets. Just call stop.
Okay.
Okay. So
We're
that.
aiming for November then, I
Okay,
think.
I'm sorry. I'm really kind of fired up here.
I hear you. I hear you. But I got a couple of hands up, so I'm gonna go.
Go ahead. I'm gonna grab my coffee.
Okay, hon. You grab your coffee. Thank you. Constance, you're up.
Yeah.
next.
I know everyone on the call is aware of this, but just to repeat the theme of this administration, which is the erosion of agency among the populace in terms of making it harder to get an education, a higher education, shutting down unions. He did something with the federal workers a few days ago that denied their representation or their ability to bargain or something. The minimum wage, nothing to do wants nothing to do with that. And of course, voting, in the final analysis, voting, which is the very essence of agency. So he's trying to concentrate the lack of agency from the middle class on down. So everyone who has agency and already has agency is everyone above the middle class. So just as a reminder, that's what we're up against.
I hear that, and I agree. I think it's important that we talk about this and to understand that they're trying. I'm going to read one more paragraph before I get to you, Larry. At the center of the system is a redefinition of what government exists to protect. Under Project 2025, the purpose of the state is not to mediate between competing interests, ensure fair competition, or address structural inequality. It is to clear the path for corporate expansion, even when that expansion produces measurable harm to workers, consumers, or the environment. Deregulation, tax restructuring, and fiscal austerity are presented as tools for national renewal, but in practice, they function as accelerants of corporate consolidation and elite dominance. They do not care about people or our land. All they care about are profits, and their corporate greed. That's it. Sorry, Larry, go for it.
No, that everything that you guys have talked about is correct. And an overarching plan has been for 40 plus years to crash the economy so that you put it in a position where you can't afford Social Security. You have to close these things down, and people are just picking up the scraps, whatever they have to do. They'll do whatever they have to do to survive. So the problem has been that for them has been that Democrats get elected every 10 years or so to fix the problem. And then that starts off the cycle over again. And then it's just a rinse and repeat and rinse and repeat. And it's maddening.
I think Democrats have never done the condemning job well enough.
Exactly.
We
Yeah.
have never condemned the previous administration enough for the crap that we have been mired in. I mean, Obama could very easily have touted his horn. I mean, he could have said he could have said so much, y'all. the position that they left our country in when he took over. Anyway, I digress. But
Well, they could have put somebody in jail, but my theory is that they told him, look, you put anybody in jail and we'll just take everything down.
right, see,
And that's yeah.
and that's where we find ourselves right now with the
Yeah.
Epstein files, and where we see every single elite person that we know of is in there. I mean, they're all in there. And it makes sense that they're all in there because he was doing a job. He was doing his
Yeah.
job. And
And they were blocked there, and now they're blocking everybody's face and name out except victims. So,
exactly.
yeah.
And so we're seeing a corruption of corruption on corruption. We need to flip the system. We need to
Yeah.
figure out, I mean, we need new people, y'all. We need primaries. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Larry. Gosh, I'm getting
People,
fired up today. I didn't think I was going to get fired up on economics, y'all. Like, economic message is not my thing. So that's all right, though. That's all right. Dr. Melissa, you're up again.
It's funny, I can't see myself. Let's see. Now I can see myself. So a couple things that this makes me think about is also about shared unions, like unions. If we could do a strike as a country or as parts of the country, we could do. It'd be great to have, I think, unions that go across companies and that advocate for a higher minimum wage and other things, benefits. So that's one thing. The other thing that, as since last week, one of our pre-meetings, we were talking about Epstein. It's more about child abuse, and that's another thing. But the whole Epstein piece, I mean, a lot of it's high profile, and I think I saw a victim on one of the shows last night who was saying that she would like to see not just focusing on 47, but on all the people who, all the oligarchs and people who
Because
were
there's plenty of them.
yes. And so it just seems as if we have sort of a national movement, and this has been high profile before, but I don't think we have a national group that ferrets out places that children are being abused, because there are places everywhere, all the resort areas, there are those secret places that are pedophilia centers. And I know that just from my work with
Right.
survivors, but that's not widely known, and it's creepy and kind of weird and behind the veil. But
And
it
it
is
was what
true.
parts of the FBI were working on before they were reassigned.
Yep, yep. And the FBI needs to work on it, but also I think citizens groups can make things more high profile, call out places. It's dangerous because I mean, some of that's organized crime. A lot of it probably is.
Right.
Some of it is religious groups. I mean, it just depends. There are so many fingers into that creepy world. But I think, children need to be rescued, teenagers need to be rescued, and so
Right.
need to be supported, not just, because I think everyone responds with outrage, but it isn't just outrage, it's compassion and understanding. And here's what happened to you. And, because people feel complicit when they're in those situations. So just another way to, what do we need for organization? Those are some of the things we need. We need the unions, group unions that connect with each other, or else a group union. Gig workers need unions.
Gosh, yes.
And I think gig work is, I'm sure, a libertarian's dream,
Right.
but it's a way of keeping young people down. Young people are going into gig work and they're not really, getting any benefits or anything.
Right. Because you think that it is freeing, but then there's catches. There's little fine print, I would
Oh
say.
yeah. Oh yeah.
But thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Melissa. Robin, I'm going to skip you real quick, okay? Because you've spoken a couple of times. I'm going to go to Beth Ann, and then I'm going to come back to you. Go ahead, Beth Ann. Ooh.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I guess given that today is Super Bowl Sunday, and given that there is going to be a lot of commercials backed by a lot of money that is not positive in many ways, I think we need to be careful about the commercials and being taken in by these big corporate sponsors of these big commercials and corporate greed. And I just wanted to share that.
I think that's
And
excellent.
especially since one of the owners of one of the teams, and I don't mean to offend a regular participator in our group, but go Seahawks, because the owner of that other program, that other team has issues.
He does have issues.
Yes, and I'll leave it at that. I won't expound on it.
Okay. Thank you so much, Beth Ann. I appreciate your discretion.
Yeah.
But I too, as you can see, am supporting the Seahawks. So go Seahawks. And yes, as Robin will say, I'm gonna say, Robin, you need to tell Paul I'm rooting. I've been praying. I'm go Seahawks. Robin's husband is a huge Seahawks fan, y'all. So yeah. I need you to unmute. Did I ask you to unmute?
Oh,
Oh, there you go.
yeah. You know what, Cecilia, I never watch football. I hardly watch any games, okay? He's into it. So today my son's gonna come over, so I think I'm gonna pay a little attention to it. Okay.
You should. And watch the halftime show.
Okay,
Okay.
I want to, yeah, the bunny. What was
Yes,
that?
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny. Okay, okay. Yeah, the commercials. I think they pay millions and millions, and the ticket. You know, the minimum ticket is baby $10,000. Cecilia, who has that kind of money to go pay 30,000, 40,000 if you want to see a little bit? Oh my goodness, so
My
God.
aunt and uncle are going.
Okay.
Not the MAGA ones, my other aunt and uncle.
But Paul also a
I'm
fan
jealous.
of Bears also. I mean, he wanted a Bear versus Seahawks to
Yeah, I know.
see really, but anyway, okay. Going back to our conversation, wherever I go, I endorse. I tell them, what we are doing. Or what Bill Davis, his this individual. So yesterday, two girls. One was from South Barrington, and one was from the Island Lake. I played a pickleball for like hour and a half, and one friend, yeah, made over the, and then one in this. But anyway,
Okay.
they're really, this girl, one who play, she's going to, she said, I can't stand it over here. I got to get away for 1 month. Okay. So I gave her all that I said, you know what? You can do the Zoom meeting from sitting over there. So I told NWSOFA.org, I said, go Google it. And okay. So the other girl also, the South Barrington, I sent her all the links. So see if these guys, and they're busy, they have family commitments, whatever. Okay, one really good thing, exciting that I'm going to tell you. Tom Hartman. Yesterday, I was able to attend his Zoom meeting. You ask him anything.
Yes.
Okay, there were 47 participants from all over the world, okay? It was a great, and I was so excited. And Cecilia, he had a cat sitting in his lap, 17 years old. 17 years old. And oh my God, I was so excited. I said, I didn't think that you're gonna take my call.
So
But
you
he
got
did.
on Tom Hartman. What was your question?
My question is just excited, and then I told him also that what work we are doing. Okay, the question that I asked, I said, what is going to happen in November? Is he really going to steal? I said I went to watch the movie of Greg Powell, and he said there are 40 or 40,000
Yeah,
these
vigilantes. Yeah.
vigilantes, and they're going to make a lot. He said his answer was, don't worry about it. He said, do your job. And the people who are local, the elections are local. So those are the people who are going to protect our votes. So that was his answer. Okay.
And do you know what our job is? To register voters.
Yes.
So we need to register
Oh,
voters.
okay. He did say that when it came to the woman votes, They are trying to purge 80 million somehow because of the
Exactly.
need.
So we got to make sure. Yeah.
So they are introducing some legislations where they cannot do it, but these goons, they're gonna try to do. They try because since they have the power to do it, they can do whatever they okay. But
I know.
still, he said, don't worry about it. He cannot steal all the votes, and that's what Greg Palast said the same thing. And then also they discussed a lot about the Epstein. There were so many people. And
Okay.
then also last thing what was I lost my thought now.
Okay, hon.
What was
I
it?
got
It
one
was
more.
another. Okay, it was on the elections again. A woman votes because he said it's so difficult for a woman to produce all that paperwork and go and he talked about the IDs, national IDs that you
Yeah,
can.
we'll talk about the SAFE Act here in
Sounds good.
a
Okay,
bit.
go. Okay, all right.
But
I'll think about
here's
something
the thing.
else.
Before we get to action items, one more quick question that I want to ask all of y'all after I read this. Because it talks about how beyond taxation, the regulatory rollback envisioned by Project 2025 creates an environment where accountability becomes optional for powerful actors. And then it goes on to say the cumulative effect is a market that no longer rewards innovation, effort, or risk taking, but instead concentrates power through size, proximity to government, and capacity to manipulate rules. Competitive dynamics are replaced with rent-seeking behavior, the extraction of wealth not through production, but through control over infrastructure, intellectual property, and supply chains. Public utilities are privatized, public health data becomes proprietary, patents on essential medicines are extended, and the commons is not just enclosed, it's commodified. What this made me think of was when they said that I have heard that fashion in fascist eras is just terrible. And it's because of things like this. They limit innovation. They limit the ability for artistry to come out in and to do and to create and to dream and to imagine and to be creative because they don't want creative. They don't want you to color outside the lines. They don't want you to be anything other than controlled. And it makes it so that everything is so boring. I mean, just ultimately, and I don't want to limit it. I don't want to make it seem like I'm limiting this, right? But what I mean is it stifles creativity to the point of snuffing the candle out. And I don't want to we were having trouble with our kids before, y'all. We were having trouble with the digital age. We were having trouble with the internet. We were having trouble with I mean, COVID. We were already having trouble with Gen Z. And now we've got fascism. And I just watched an interview, and I'm Dr. Melissa, I'll come to you in just a minute because I do want your response to this. I just watched an interview with somebody who is talking about the desperate effects of this on Gen Z because they have only known this man as their leader. I mean, we had a little respite with Joe, but Joe was not loud. Joe was not, I mean, his accomplishments were not loud. They were amazing. He did amazing work, but nobody knew about it. And so those kids, they have felt like all they've ever known is Trump. Dr. Melissa.
I think it's a good point about the corporate world not rewarding innovation and the also the fascist overlay. And especially when you think about corporate mergers, I'm not sure this is true in healthcare, although there are a lot of mergers in healthcare. But like, say, my best friend's husband was an innovator in the small company he worked for, bringing in different kinds of technology, and it was taken over by a company that wasn't it was a company that had many fingers in many pots, and they didn't really care that much about that it was just like a moneymaker for them. And they retired him in his 50s with a nice clock. And so
Oh, nice.
right. And so there is a person who had a lot to offer in terms of innovation. He didn't start working again, maybe a little on the side, bagging groceries or something like that. He just, he just retired. And, that's lost to everybody.
That's
That's an
amazing.
image. So I think that's something, and I do have a question, like
Yeah.
how do we connect with unions and support unions?
I would call your local labor, get in touch with you have your local labor leaders, president of your local labor union. You can start there, but they're usually a little difficult to get in touch with. So you can go in with if you get in first there, get your messages in there, and then start just talking to labor guys. Go to any workers who are in a union, where they hang out, talk with them and see what's the easiest way, fastest way to get in touch with your president. And they will know. They will know better than anyone. I found that out real fast. And because the reason I say that is because I tried to get in touch with the president of the labor union in 3 different places. And I found
Wow.
out, and what I mean, 3 different jurisdictions, right? 3
Mhm.
different, and I discovered, I was told very kindly, as in, you silly little girl, you should have just come talk to me, and I would have told you exactly how to get a hold of him, kind of thing. So,
Interesting.
right, just go talk, go find where the union guys hang out, and sit, talk with them, see how they're doing, and ask them the quickest way to get in touch with their president, and they will let you know.
And now that I'm thinking about this, I was at one time part of a government union, like government workers, professionals union, where they started out as a nurses union. They did all the other professionals. Plus this is like the VA, right? But I think these have been eliminated by our current at least there's a struggle. I'm not sure they're still there, but I do know the people who were involved in it. So, and it was a bigger union. It wasn't just one, but it was government, and they may be so much thumb is on them.
That worries
What was the
me.
union name that I have the pension?
Oh,
You don't know.
Paul, come on.
Oh, you saw it. Cecilia saying hello to you. She's supporting you for your Seahawks.
I am.
Say
Check me
hello. Say hello.
Hi,
Nice.
Hi.
Hi, thank
Hi.
you.
He's very shy.
That's
Big
okay. I
deal.
appreciate you so much. That's all
Yeah,
right,
big.
guys.
Okay,
All right,
nice talking.
Okay.
Robin, what did you have
Yes.
your hand up for?
Oh, unions. I want to talk about
Unions.
union. Yeah. You know what? It depends where do you work. My last, I never, I worked for food industry over 40 years, okay? More than 40 years, okay? So my last job was in a villa park. They actually moved from Algro Village. It used to be Arco company called, okay? They're like very Italian. They go back to hundreds of years. Okay, so they won this big lawsuit with the pizza company where they developed one kind of patent and they stole it, whatever. So then
Really?
they purchased then big, huge, from little small manufacturing from Algroville, tiny, into Lakeville, huge building. Okay, so I worked there. I happened to work there 5 years.
And
And they had a union. So the downside of union was that there were no benefits. That company had no, so I pulled through 5 years. I wasn't gonna work because also their work practice. I would tell you what it, they
okay,
took
but
care.
Robin, that's the point of a union, is to barter with your employer for better benefits.
They don't really. These unions, those unions are far low income people who are working in their manufacturing, they have no say to say, no say. Okay, and they keep on giving the dues. Okay, they had the health insurance they would cover, and they had to travel all the way to downtown, like near University of the Rush. I remember that.
It's okay. It's
And-
okay.
But no, I have bad experience with the union.
Okay.
Bad
Okay. Not every
experience.
union is bad though. All right. Okay.
Mhm.
But I did for 5
Hmm.
years and I have some pension. Okay, I did it because I wanted to be vested into it.
I appreciate your
But
point
no
of view.
401k benefit, no investment, nothing. But they
Okay.
paid a good salary though. They did
So
pay.
here's the point
D-
that some places are bad to work and some places are good to work, and some unions are not doing a good job. And I would agree with that union education has really gone down. Like even the unions in my area, they're not educating their workers the way they used to, like about how bad the Republicans are, the GOP. The GOP are union busters. They've always been union busters. And why the unions are not teaching their people that, I will never know, but whatever. Okay. Thank you, Robin. I apologize for taking that outside of where you were taking that. But anyway, Dr. Melissa, you're up next.
Sort of on that same topic. I was part of a union in Northwest Indiana when I used to work in mental health there, and the union there was not good. They were kind of in bed with management. They,
See?
they were, and that was, in an era where, that's post-Reagan, where unions were under assault basically, and they were kind of caving, and that was a very weak union. They were they couldn't get better health benefits for people. People were getting the cost was going up so high that some people who had a low wage couldn't afford them and have sick children and stuff like that. It was terrible. So they were not doing well. We met with them, tried to, and I think it is, you have to support your local union and get them to do their job. And contrary to that, I mean, my husband's experience, he was a union steward at bookstore, and they had a great, they had great benefits, great benefits. They had everything, they had vacation. I mean, for bookstore workers, it's, for booksellers, it's not always the case that they even have that. So,
Yeah,
so it can be really good.
I have a friend who is a teachers union down in Arizona, and she could not be happier. Like they are so they take care of their people, like at the moment anyway. I guess. And real quickly, okay, so in this ecosystem, elites and corporates benefit twice. First, by capturing the economic returns of deregulation and privatization, which we have seen them doing over and over again. And second, by avoiding responsibility for the systemic failures that follow. They don't want to have anything to do with the chaos and harm that they will cause. When housing becomes unaffordable, it is framed as a zoning problem. When health outcomes decline, it is blamed on personal behavior. When jobs disappear or become unstable, it is attributed to automation or global competition. Structural drivers are hidden. Power is made invisible, and the solutions offered more deregulation, more tax cuts, more market freedom simply deepen the cycle.
How do you
This is not,
pronounce?
real quick, this is not the invisible hand of the market at work. It is a visible design crafted by and for those already at the top. The genius of Project 2025 is not in its novelty, but in its discipline. It offers no new economic vision, only a more aggressive version of an old one. What distinguishes it is its refusal to compromise, its capacity to frame inequality as destiny, and its ability to enforce compliance through both law and culture. They want to take our culture and use it against us. But let me tell you something, y'all. First of all, they are not the culture. Like in all of everything, what represents America is not MAGA. Like they are not what represent America. Okay. America is so much more than that. And they want you to think that MAGA represents America. They want people to think that that's what America is. But it is far from that. And if you look at the percentages, 80% of people saw the Alex Preddy video. We have not seen a breakthrough like that, event like that, since the last national disaster. And 80% agree it was not right. So we're just in a different time right now. We're in a time where we have to stand up. States are standing up. Montana is standing up. Okay. We have states that are realizing that our federal system is stepping a toe, not really a toe, a whole boot over into their states' rights. And the economic part is just part of it. Well, I mean, it's voting, it's mostly voting. It's everything. They want control over everything. So yeah, it's not a good story. I can't wait for the next one. The next story, I think, will be much better. Robin, what did you have to say? You need to unmute, though. Sorry.
I don't know. I'm talking way too much today.
You're a little loquacious, but I love you. No worries.
Thank you.
It's okay. It's no worries. Guys, we got to talk this out. I know it's running through our heads, right? We've got all this stuff rolling through our brains. We got to talk about it.
Yeah, you guys mentioned you mentioned Gen G
Gen
population.
Z.
Gen G, okay. Excuse my pronunciation. I have a
I
hard
get you,
time.
babe. It's
I
okay.
have a hard time with a lot of vowels. Okay, they don't come out. Okay, Gen G, you're right. They fall. My granddaughter, youngest, no, older one, she's 15, so she falls into that age group. So yeah, they have seen only the current Orange Man, but they have seen also Joe Biden. Okay, these kids are smart. Okay, you really cannot fool them. All right. So
know.
they're aware of what's going on. So we'll see what they do. Okay, they're music. They're very creative. So we'll see. So we don't have to. I don't think we have to worry about Gen Z. We have to worry about ourselves right now.
Sweetie, I don't know, man.
And you are what? You are Gen X, and
Yes, I am.
that's where my older daughter falls. The other two kids are millenniums, and the millenniums. What I think I don't know what the perception is about millenniums. Okay, I think they're gonna inherit a lot of money from boomers. That's what it is. Okay, because all these boomers, they have their wealth sitting, and so millennials thought technically they don't have to worry about anything. Okay.
Oh, okay. I'll let them know. Um, Joan, you're up next. Go ahead and unmute.
Thank you. I'm Joan from Northern Illinois in Rockford, and I mentioned last week on one of our calls that Michelle Obama's documentary outpaced Melania,
Yes.
and I found a little more information. The percentage increase was 13,300% with 480,000 views.
Oh
As
my God.
yeah, isn't that something? And Melania, they only took in $7 million, which for what was spent on that, that's not very good. So
Now,
anyway, head there. And then one other point of interest, they keep finding people who are in the Epstein files.
Mhm.
Well, I think we'll all be happy to know. Guess who is not being found in the Epstein files?
I can
President-
name a couple, but you go
Well,
first.
President Barack Obama is nowhere to be found. So on
Neither
that,
is Joe Biden.
Joe Biden as well. See, this is so we'll get there. We just all have to keep at it. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day, and hopefully the Seahawks will win tonight.
Yay! That's right. And also I would say that the only negative to that whole Melania and becoming thing is that Bozo also owns share of Netflix, so he got the money from it anyway. So that's the only thing. I mean, he profited from it no matter what happened. And I'm talking about Bezos, I believe. So that that's why, that's what we're dealing with. Speaking of economic stuff, the consolidation of them owning everything, of like 4 or 5 people owning everything. That's not right. Right? I don't think it's right. I don't think 4 or 5 people should own everything or profit from everything or make the prices for everything. But I don't know. That's just me. Yes, Miss Robin.
I hope people not getting annoyed with me today.
All right. Well, real quickly, what would you like to add? Because we are going to we're going to cut this short today
Okay,
because it's Super Bowl Sunday.
A Bozo guy. I'm gonna call him Bozo, okay?
Yeah, that's fine. I got it
So
from you.
that girl, Linda, I know she shed light on Amazon
Yes, she
because
did.
she did, I think she took my comment and then she did the research. And because I made a comment where they're losing money. Remember, I said that the store is shut down. So she did detailed research. I appreciate it. So I mean, it's not only people like her who are buying stuff. I mean, I stopped, okay? But he has bought so many other big company,
I
Ring,
know.
a number of, so we need to boycott. We have to tell Amy to prepare that list, and then we boycott those companies.
I say, and here's what I really would really appreciate, a link tree. A link tree with all of those links from Amy. Amy needs to, like, because she keeps posting all of those links in the chat every day, and my goodness, they're amazing, but they take up a lot of space in
Yeah.
the recap and in the and that's what and but
What?
we're trying to get it. They're useful, but they would be super useful if they were all in one space, one place
Okay.
where we could all
Well,
go and boop.
well, you talk to her. You talk to her. But I'm doing my job. I don't. My Trader Joe was my favorite store because right there, like I stopped going there. Home Depot,
Thank you,
stop.
Robin.
Target. So I am boycotting whatever they telling us. Okay,
I
so
appreciate you very much for doing that. I
thank
know
you.
how hard it is to stop buying things.
It
Believe
is.
me.
Yeah, I like to trade it. I mean, it's such a small, you just in 10 minutes you pick up your item. But I love my Costco. I love my Costco. But Costco is dangerous, okay? Going to Costco takes way too much money, unnecessary stuff. Even though I
That's
take a
true.
little.
That's true.
But
Okay.
they're
All right.
okay.
Well,
All right.
here's what I'm going to say. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all for having this conversation this morning. I'm sorry I missed it on Thursday. I appreciate everyone um who participated on Thursday. I appreciate everybody who participated today. I just wanted to go through it, and I didn't realize I was going to get so hot and bothered about economics. I never was a big fan of economics in high school or college. It was my least favorite
Me too.
that I had to go through in college. So, yeah, but it touches everybody's life. Like everybody cannot, you can't, and they know that. And they know that. So, guys, just keep 5 calls, right? Keep calling about all of this. Your voice matters. every call matters. And even, no matter what you do, every piece, there's a piece to this puzzle, and you are right where you're supposed to be. And thank you so much for taking this time with us today. I appreciate it. And I hope you have a great Super Bowl Sunday. Go Seahawks. And yeah.
Last comment, Constance, I got the email from Flo for upcoming meeting with the MAGA. Okay. And she said, oh, there was a Daily Herald and there's supposed to be an article and I haven't seen it yet. Maybe I'll
It's on the
send.
front page.
Yeah, I'm gonna send. When was it? When day was published?
Sunday.
Today. Okay, so she'll see it there today. She'll see it,
Yes.
right? Okay, we don't have to worry about it then. All right.
All right.
Okay.
Well, okay. So Bill, I think you're still the host. So if you could turn off the live stream, that'd be great. And we will save everything.
We
And
can't hear him.
oh yeah,
You are the host.
oh, I'm the host.